Hi, this is Kevin from Hideaway Homestead. We're going to be talking today about picking elderberry. We have it growing wild here in Central Florida. It grows along the lakes out here, and there is quite an abundance of it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you what the flower looks like before it turns to berry. And I apologize for the noise out here. I'm on a main highway, and the lake is right here behind me. And so let's get started. We're going to be picking elderberry and show you what you do with it and how good it is for you and that sort of thing. So let's get started. This is the berries when they're ripe. They turn black, as you can see here. When they're not ripe, they're green. When they're green like this, you don't want those. Actually, the green ones are poisonous. So whenever they turn black like this is when you want to pick them. So we're getting ready to pick these. And this is our big cluster right here. It's ready to go. I've been keeping an eye on these. These are real close to where we live. And I've been keeping an eye on these for a few months now, watching them turn into berries. And I'll see if I can find one that has a flower head on it, and we'll show you what the flower head looks like. So let's go see if I can find another one. There's a flower head right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. And they're white. Against that sky, you may not be able to see it very well. See, this one's actually about to go to berries. But you can see the little bitty white flowers. Still has a little bit on there. This one over here has a few more flowers on it. That just kind of give you an idea. There's some right there, and some over there also. That just kind of gives you an idea about what they look like when they're growing in the wild. And like I said, they grow in the wild out here. You don't have to plant these. The birds plant them for us. The birds love these things. Whenever they turn to berries and get ripe, the birds love them. And so the birds eat them, and then they go and sit on a fence or somewhere out here next to the lake, and they poop out the seed, and the seed grows. So let's go ahead and get my bucket from the truck, and we'll start picking some of these and show you how we do it. Okay, this is a bucket that I use. This is just an empty cat litter bucket. There's some of the ones I've already picked in the bucket there. What I usually do is I use a pair of these clippers like this, just pruning shears and get from the hardware store. And you can see how the head of this cluster is right here. What I will usually do is just clip that off right there, and then it goes into the bucket, and the same with these. So you don't want to take a whole bunch of the plant. All you want is that head right there. Just like that. So what you end up with then is a head of the berries like this. And we just continue that process, and as you can see, there's a whole bunch of these on this one bush right here. It's full of them. I pick this area every year at this time, and there's quite an abundance of them here. So let's continue picking. We are now harvesting these elderberries. What I like to do is I always get a bowl and just sit in the floor and do this, because I don't want to take the chance of getting the juice on the sofa or the chair, wherever I'm sitting. And they're real easy to do. All I do is just hold them like this and just lightly pull these little berries off into a bowl, like so. And they come off real easy. As you can see here, they're coming off quite quickly. And so this is something that I can do while I'm watching TV or whatever. I can just sit and do this, and it doesn't take a long time unless you have a whole lot of them. And then what I do is I take the stems. Once I get finished with this, I put it in a bag. I just keep a bag over here and throw these away. And then the berries just go into this bowl. And so this is how we harvest the elderberries. This is the next step in processing the elderberries. We put them in a big pot with water in them and just boil them. We let them boil for a while until we know they're pretty soft, and then we mash them up to get the juice out of them. So we'll show you the next process when we do that. We got the elderberries cooked. Now the next process is to mash them up. A lot of the juice will cook out of them while you're cooking them, but you do have to go back with a potato masher of some kind and mash them up real good to make sure you bust all the berries and get the juice out of them. So that's what we're doing now. And then we will take a strainer and dip the pulp into there and let it drain some more. You might want to point out that we try to use stainless steel spoons and pots and things like that because this stuff does stain, and it's probably pretty hard to get out if you can get it out at all.
And glass.
And glass, yes, we use glass bowls.
Nothing that'll pick up a stain.
Yeah, anything that won't pick up stains. If you use plastic or something like that, it'll stain it, and you probably won't be able to get it out. So at this point, what we're going to do now is we're going to take this, after we've got this mashed out pretty good, you're going to take this pulp, as we call it, and just dump it into this little plastic bowl right here. You can either just dump this in the garbage, you can use it for compost if you're into composting, or if you have chickens like we do, you can feed it to the chickens. So now what we're doing is we're just pouring we've got most of the pulp and stuff out of the pot, so we're just pouring the rest of it through the strainer. To get the rest of that out of there. And that pretty much takes care of that. There is still a few pieces in there, and Carol's going to mash those out now. We found that this little dipper thing that she's using, we usually use that for like French fries and fish and stuff like that when we fry things, but it seems to be a good shape that we can use it in this strainer also. So anything that you can find that you have that will work, go ahead and use it, because that's what we do. Okay, and that pretty much takes care of that. We got our elderberry done. We ended up with 6 jars. What we did was we put it in the water bath canner and just used this to seal the jars up. At this point, we can use these jars of elderberry juice for pretty much anything. We can keep it as an elderberry juice and drink it as a juice. We could use it for making a medicinal juice out of it, a syrup I think they call it. We've been told that this is a good medicinal item to have around your house. We're not doctors or anything, so we're not trying to give medical advice or anything like that, so I encourage you to check up on it, read up on it, maybe call your doctor if you need to, or something like that, to find out what the truth about that is, or for what works for you. It works good for us, and we like it. We've had it a couple times on places we've been that had the juice available, and it tastes pretty good. So do your research. You can find out anything you want to know, as you probably know, on the internet, and it's got every kind of information you can think of on there. So read up on it and find out what you can before you just go doing something that we recommend. One of the other things that we like to make out of this is jelly. Elderberry jelly is very good. We like it around here, especially on hot biscuits with butter and elderberry. That's a good southern food, I guess. We really like that. Elderberries have been used for centuries by the Native Americans especially, and other people as well. Do your research before you do this, because there are some things out there that are similar to this that are poisonous, so make sure you do your research online. Make sure you know exactly what you're getting. Look at the berries. Make sure you know what the berries look like, the flowers. That's another thing that you can use also in recipes are the flower heads off of these. People have a recipe where they dip the flower head in batter and fry it, and they eat it that way, and it's supposed to be good. We've not tried that yet, but we may end up doing that sometime soon. One of the things that we like to do is to forage for different things that grow in our area that grow wild. This grows wild. We find it personally around the lakes and things like that around here, but we also see it growing in ditches and places that are wet. So if you can go out and forage for things that are good for you, this is one of the things you might want to look for. So if you have family and friends that may be interested in the kind of things that we're interested in and the things that we're doing here on the homestead, pass our information along to them and have them to check out our videos on YouTube also. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. Give us a thumbs up. Leave us comments. Let us know what you think. If you've used these before, let us know. Did you like them? Did you not like them? What were some good things and some bad things about it? So, until next time, thanks for joining us here on Hideaway Homestead.